Hello, world. On March 6th, Apple now has to fulfill its obligations under the latest European Union law, the Digital Markets Act, which requires users to have the full ability to sideload apps on their iPhones on the new iOS 17.4 updates. The EU signed the Digital Markets Act, which is an antitrust act that was signed in 2022. The legislation reads that it was designed to make the tech economy more fair and open to everyone. Personally, I'm no Apple user myself, as I hate the Apple environment, as all you know. I don't like its closed hardware. I don't like its proprietary software and operating system. But this new, well, technically forced update, Apple's finally going to have the slightest bit of good in their products, which is why people will now be allowed to control their technology. And now I hear you say, you Apple supporters, you. I know you're out there, and I well, hear your voice. I hear you say, but Gianfranco, sideloading's dangerous. Apple said so. It's a cyber criminal's best friend. I'm not gonna say that there's not a chance. There's always a chance for something to get hacked. Nothing's infallible, but there is a chance that running an app from another app store may come with a chance to install malware. That's true. Yes. Like, for example, take the Google Play Store. There's tons of apps for I'd say scanning your phone for malware and stuff. This is actually just a virus or something that some other hacker from some other country used just to control your phone or using a large botnet or something. But however, sideloading is not a hacker's best friend. A hacker's better option is to use social engineering, finding vulnerabilities in your phone, exploit someone using the same weak passwords on their accounts. These are the people they target. They target low-hanging fruits, and they target, vulnerabilities in people. The real reason why Apple refuses to run other apps aside from its own, it's easy. It's what every corporation is. It's to make money. It's simple as that. I can't go any more simpler. Apple doesn't want fair competition. Yeah, so does every other tech company in the world, but hey, I'm not going to go there. So it pulls the same snake tactics like every other corporation does to get an inch up on its opposition like every other corporation does. Either you know or you probably don't know. Every time a person installs an app from the App Store that costs money from the App Store, let's say you have $1, and you use that money to buy a $1 game. Now then, Apple is going to take 30% of what the user paid from what the developers are going to get. So remember the $1? Apple takes 30 cents from that installation from the developers. So the developers get 70 cents, Apple takes away 30. Now let's think about how many people use the App Store each day, as the Apple environment, as I say, is very big. Now you can see that Apple can take away a good chunk of profits from developers like that. You see where I'm getting at here? And also I hear you guys in the crowd saying, but Gianfranco, Apple's the most private phone. Let me stop you right there. No, the iPhone is not private. No, you think actually Apple, promises privacy, even though they add basic settings that any other phone does? No, you silly liver. No, nah. It might be one of the least private by design. You see, with my Android phone, and I have more control over apps. Well, technically I run stock Android. There's other operating systems for Android that are better than, Samsung's, but, can't do that or I violate the warranty. Sorry. And here's the thing. You can't remove some apps off of Android. I hear that. It's a pain, but let's not talk about that. With iPhones, Apple iPhones, users are forced to submit to the will of whoever runs it, which at this point, Apple CEO Tim Cook. And however, they have been complicit in removing apps that governments don't want their citizens to have. Like how the Chinese government, the CCP, didn't like it after, Hong Kong protesters were going against, their wishes. So China asked, hey, maybe if you could just get rid of any, encrypted messengers or any ways for these protesters to communicate so we can basically stop them from having free speech. And Apple says okay, listen, you're pretty important, so we're just gonna listen to you and you take these apps away. Yeah. Don't, want to lose a bunch of people in China from getting their iPhones. Now, however, though, Android phones, they can bypass this. They can install files that come from developers' websites. Now, like, you can go to a developer's website, you can download a file, and then you can execute on your computer. That's not secure either. I understand, like, you need to be sure that if you can trust a developer, but if it comes, like, I don't know, from, I'd say, a trusted developer, or it is like a way of, a signature for the file, then I'd say that'd be more secure than just downloading it randomly. But the idea of privacy is knowing where all your data goes and how you can stop the movement of that data by your choice. So, if you have a phone that requires you to have an ID to give up your face to use the basic parts of that phone, explain to me, how is that private? How is collecting your face a requisite to accessing basic functions of your phone that you already could have done before with another phone? How is that protecting privacy? That's not privacy. That's what we would call a contradictory statement. You know what? I'm very hopeful that this bill finally gets, Apple to be complicit in, what governments have to say. Because these large companies, they're very known for, just lobbying to get what they want, to make sure there's no antitrust bills that put them in their place. I'm finally happy the EU is going to promise should lead to a domino effect that will inspire legislation in the US. Hopefully, we can finally take over control of iPhones over here. We can have the ability to have access to the phone 100%. And finally, legislators in the EU want to put monopolies in their place. Well then, anyway, this has been Radioactive. And as always, knowledge is power, and may we use that power to build a stronger, a smarter, and a private internet. Please stay tuned for some more. Thank you very much.